Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be the top 5 ways to meet more women. In other words, I'm going to go through 5 of the best techniques and ways that you can use to meet more women so you can practice your skills and get better, because obviously repetition is the mother of skill. And if you want to get better and become more successful with women, then obviously you have to interact with more of them. And so I'm going to detail in order of, because I'm obviously a very advanced user compared to somebody who's just now learning about my work and starting to employ it. And so this first technique I'm going to share with you, it's also one of the hardest to do, because you really, once you know what you're looking for, you really don't have to do anything, because you get clear about exactly what you want to attract in a woman, and you practice infinite patience and focus the daily efforts of your life, the action you're taking, the activities that you're undertaking in your life, on focusing on being the best version of yourself that you can be. Like for me, I've always been a high achiever. And anytime I've been in a company, or obviously for most of the past 15, 20 years, I've been an entrepreneur. And so I've always been busy, and I tend to travel a lot. I tend to socialize a lot. And I meet people that are in the similar industry that I'm in. I go to social functions, I hang out, I make new groups of friends. And so I've always been a social butterfly, and I've always had I've never worried about it. I've always, because when I look back at my life, all of my great relationships, it's like boom, it was like fate. It's just like dropped in my lap. And so obviously when I was learning this stuff and learning these techniques, I was using the other ones I'm going to share with you. But this one, basically, you don't have to do anything. You get clear about what you want, and then you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. And then along the way, just because of the nature of your busy life or your busy career, you're going to run into exactly the person that you wrote down on your list and your criteria. And I've got, if you're watching this video on the website, there's obviously links down below that link to the specific articles that I'm talking about. And so the key is you have to practice infinite patience, and you have to trust that the universe is going to bring the perfect person into your life. Now, if you're just starting out, I wouldn't recommend this technique, because you don't know what you don't know. And you have to develop your skills and your confidence by interacting with a lot of different women. But once you've done all that, and you've had one great relationship after another, then you set your criteria and know that it may be a month, it may be 6 months, it may be a year, maybe it's 2 years. Eventually you're going to run into that perfect person exactly when you are ready for it, because you have to become the person that you want to attract. And so the second technique, or second way that I want to go over that you can meet more women, is what I call the passive approach. And this is my second favorite way, because I tend to be lazy. I know that women like to chase men. Women prefer to pursue you, just because that's when you understand the nature of how they are and how they show up and what they emotionally respond to. And the fact that I perceive myself as a catch. I've always been successful at whatever I was doing. So I've always been in a leadership position where I've either been a leader directly, or I just exhibit leadership type of energy. And so I've got a technique in this one where you exhibit specific physiology that I talk about, and there are specific things that you do. And I'm not going to go into detail on this, because I wrote a whole article and shot a video on that, which I've got links to that article in this post if you're watching this video on the website. But the key is that you exhibit a physiology and an energy. You can use it in a bar, you can use it in a nightclub, you can use it on the street, you can use it as in a social setting or a social function. It works magnificently, because you exude alpha male energy and physiology, and everyone, men and women, notice when the dominant male walks into the room or the bar or nightclub or the venue. And so the easiest thing I like best about this one is that you just basically have to stand there and have a good time with your friends, and chicks will come up to you left and right just because you guys are having so much fun, and they'll want to participate and play. And since they're approaching you, what I love about this technique is that beginners can use it too, especially if the guy is terrified, like I used to be, of going up and doing cold approaches and interacting with women, because that one tends to be, and we'll discuss that one next, that tends to be the hardest one, is to go up and talk to them. And here, by employing the strategies I talk about and how in my article, how to get women to approach you first, you can just go out and focus on having a blast with your buddies, and then all throughout the night, chicks are going to be coming up and approaching you and your friends. And since they're talking to you, obviously they're either interested in you personally or they're interested in one of the guys that are in your group. And if you like them, you can just continue to let them hang out and talk and joke and laugh and participate in your little party. And if they bore you or they're not really that attractive, talk to them for a few minutes and then just say, hey, it was nice meeting y'all. And then let them move on. And the next approach is going to be, this one's the hardest, I would say, as far as employing. Obviously the first one is you just let, in essence, fate bring that person to you because you have infinite patience that they'll show up. But the active approach is hard because any guy that's got approach anxiety, or he's afraid, or he's shy, or he's worried about what he's got to say. Obviously I talk about, this particular technique is hard because you got to have some kind of icebreaker. You got to say something. It could be as simple as just saying, hey, what's up, girls? And I've got a link here. I wrote an article called The Best Pickup Lines Ever. So there's no need for me to go into detail on it. But I give you some great openers to use and break the ice, because you're going to have to go up, you're going to have to break the ice, you're going to have to read a woman's level of interest in you and see if she's giving away signs or signals that communicate that she's interested in you. And because you want to know, are you in or you out? And if she's in, you either get her number or you just hang out with her, and then later on that evening, because you follow the stuff I talk about, how to seduce women, those kinds of things, you end up back at either your place or her place, and you end up seducing her the first night that you met her. So it really depends upon you as to how far you want to take this particular approach, but it requires you going up and approaching women in parks or on the street or in a bar or a nightclub, at a friend's party, at a social gathering, at some kind of seminar that you've gone to, whatever it happens to be. And the idea is I'm giving you all these different techniques and strategies that you can use so you employ what feels most comfortable. Obviously, the third one here, the passive approach, or the active approach, as I like to say, that's the really tough one for most guys. And so if you're not really comfortable interacting with a lot of women, the best thing to employ is the passive approach, where you just stand there with your buddies, and chicks will come up to you all night long. And if women are approaching you, well, guess what? Now the rejection shoe is on the other foot. And so they're coming up and potentially risking getting rejected and you guys blowing them out of your group, so to speak. Now the fourth way is online dating, social networking. And I got a great article that I wrote called The Ultimate Attracting Beautiful Women Easily, the Ultimate Online Dating Profile. And I have a link to that article in there, which tells you specifically exactly what you need to do, what kinds of pictures you want in your profile, and the things that you want to say to make sure that the type of women that you want start contacting you, so you can talk to them on the phone, and if you like the way they sound, then you meet them for a drink, and then it just flows from there. You can also use Facebook or any one of the other social network sharing or one of the social networks to meet other people. This is a great, online dating is great for people that are homebodies or a busy professional that just doesn't have the time to go out there, or people that just don't have a real huge social circle. Maybe you've just moved to a new city and you don't know anybody, and so online dating could be the best way to do it. But you got to set your profile up properly, and like I said, I detail it in my article, The Ultimate Online Dating Profile. It tells you specifically what to say and what to do to make sure that exactly what you're looking for contacts you directly. And then you can decide whether you want to go out with them or not. Again, it puts the rejection on the woman's foot because she's contacting you first. And the last one is either blind dates or dating by referral. Well, I've never been a big fan of blind dates, obviously, because what happens? Oh, I want you to meet this person. Well, are they pretty? Is she hot? Well, she's really nice. And so when someone says she's really nice, then they're probably not very attractive. And when it comes to beautiful women and a woman's the one setting you up on a blind date, well, guess what? Beautiful women know other beautiful women. They know a beautiful woman when they see one. And so if you got a female acquaintance that's trying to set you up with a friend of hers who's really nice, run. You don't want anything to do with that. But dating by referral, if you get specific, like I talk about in how to attract the perfect ideal woman for you, if you get specific and you know exactly what you're looking for and you've incorporated it into your online dating profile if you have one, then you can be specific. If you're a social butterfly, I mean, kind of like I am, and you know exactly what you're looking for, you can tell your friends specifically, I want somebody that's dark black hair, red hair, brown hair, tan skin, great body, in great shape, eats healthy, understands men, understands how to communicate, knows how to have a great, healthy relationship. She's successful and loves whatever it is that she does, whether she owns her own business or she's a hairdresser for a living. I don't care. And when you get specific like that and you start, if you've got a huge social network of people and you want to date by referral, you just tell everybody in under 60 seconds exactly what you're looking for, and they'll start thinking, who do I know that matches that criteria? Because most blind dates are blind dates made upon what somebody else's opinion of what they think you want. By being proactive and getting clear about that, and by going through the exercises that I've shared in other articles that I will link to in this particular one, you'll know exactly what you want. And so you can coach and you can coax and educate your friends and family around you of exactly specifically what you're looking for, and they'll say, this girl's exactly what you've described to me. And if you're going to date by referral, that's the best way to handle it. The key is to use the techniques and the strategies that you feel comfortable with. And so if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in the video. At the very least, please share this page with all of your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibbia toolbar. And if you got a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic that you'd like me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab, which is on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation, and just give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response, because I have to focus on the emails from my paying phone coaching customers first, and I get to the rest of them when I can in between appointments and stuff. So just be patient, and I will get back with you. And if you'd like to book and talk to me immediately, you can book a paid phone coaching session by clicking the Products tab, which is at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I'll talk to you soon.